Sagaji TV.
I'm really liking my hair like this. Anyway, In the Shadows of Silver and Black by Shauna Sagaji, which is moi. You can pause the screen if you want to read what it's about. Also, I'll put it in the description box below if you want to read what it is about. But I just want to get many videos out here about this book because, you know, the more it's out in the world, In the Shadows of Silver and Black, the algorithm pulls it up. And this video will pull up anytime you type my title of the book in the video. Anyway, so this book, I started writing this book when I was 16. I could actually say novel. This novel is almost 90,000 words, if I remember correctly. So I started writing this book when I was 16 years old. I know it probably don't look like it was that long ago, but it was that long ago. It was over 10 years ago when I started writing this book. So many people be like, what are you like 18? You like 19? What are you, about 22? And I'm like, no, I'm adult. I just look young. Like, don't correct, baby. But yeah, I started writing this book when I was 16. The reason I actually started writing this book is to make a friend, to be honest. I was trying to be friends with somebody and I saw that they were writing a book. So I started writing a book so then they could notice that I was writing a book and strike up a conversation with me. But my imagination goes far back then. I never thought to put my stories on paper, and till that moment I was like, okay, let me put one of my stories on paper. And then I was like, yo, I kind of like writing it. So every day after school I would come home, write a couple of pages, and I did this for a couple months, because my attention span I didn't see a goal. Like, I didn't actually see turn it into a book. I just was like, let's keep writing. And my friend would be like, how's your book going? I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this. It was just to make friends at first. Made the friend, but I was like, I'm gonna still keep writing on the book. And I remember I finished up to like 18 chapters of the book. Coming home every day, writing a couple pages. And then once I got to like chapter 18, I was like, how about I just make this into a part 1, part 2, or book 1, book 2, because I don't feel like writing on this no more. Because like, if I could just pull it out my brain and throw it on a piece of paper, it'd be cool. But I have to actually sit there and type, then go back and like read it and make sure it's right. And it was just like, that wasn't in my like mindset. So when I hit at chapter 18, I was like, I'm done writing this. Let's just make this part 1, part 2. Never went back to the part 2, but you know what's crazy? I was like, yay, I finished a book. Well, I kind of want to see it in book form. So how about we query at age 16? I'm like, let's query. I did a whole bunch of like internet search. How do you do it? And I reached out to, I want to say about 20 publishers. I have so many no thank you letters. Do I still have those? I hope. I probably do. Fingers crossed I do. Maybe I'll show those in a video some other time. But I have so many, yeah, we're good letters. And it didn't like, oh my gosh, no. It didn't have that feeling. It was more like, oh my gosh, they wrote back. Even if it's no, they wrote back. So cool. And out of those 20, I actually got somebody that said, hey, yeah, send us like the first couple chapters of your book and we'll tell you if we want to pursue it or not. And I was like, ooh, what? Okay. Now, I remember when I had to mail them now I'm 16, I'm not working, so I had to scrape up a little money to actually, they should have just let me email it, but they wanted a physical copy, so whatever. And at 16, I had also copyrighted the book. So what I had of the book, the first 18 chapters, I had copyrighted it. That cost $35 right there back then. I got the little certificate in the mail and everything. It was awesome. But I went ahead and sent it to them, and they were like, no, thank you. And I was like, oh, you made me waste my money printing this out and sending it to you. It wasn't so much the no, it was the I lost money doing it, but it was cool. Put it on the back burner. Never thought about it again. Matter of fact, I emailed myself the copy of my 18 chapters because I don't know, I was just thinking ahead, long in the future, what if something happened? And sure enough, something happened. The laptop that I was writing my book on, lost it. It was gone, right? So I was like, hey, oh well, never thought about it again when I decided to pursue this whole let's write a book thing. I started on another book first. I started on a book called Salafiala, but we'll talk about that in another video. And then after I completed that book, Salafiala, I was like, well, what book should I do next? And I thought, wait, there's a book I started writing when I was 16. How about we get back to that one? Dang it, I don't have my laptop anymore. Wait a minute, didn't I text myself or email myself a copy of it? And sure enough, I pulled it up in my email and I had the first 18 chapters. I was like, okay, so how about we actually complete the book? Let's not even like do like a part 1, part 2. Let's complete the whole book. And you know what's crazy is that the story that I end up writing towards the end, like I want to say this is, how many chapters is this? So when you first open it up, this is what you see. In the Shadow of Silver and Black. I even wrote right here, dedicated to my 16-year-old self. You've come a long way. I'm proud of you. So all these chapters I wrote when I was 16 up to this 18 chapter, and then all the way down is what I completed. 35 chapters, a prologue, epilogue, and then 35 chapters. Now you'll see this, like the first chapter, you'll see this prologue, and this picture right here looks blurry when you see it on here, it don't look blurry at all, but in person it looks blurry, and that's deliberate because it says out of focus. So of course it's going to be out of focus, and on the last chapter, which is the epilogue, it says in focus, so then that picture is in focus. So I like that little idea of doing that. Each chapter has this cool little spot up there. But when I decided to go ahead and finish the book, which was crazy, when I was 16, it had I didn't fully think out the end of that story when I was 16, but I know it had a completely different path versus when I wrote it now. It went a completely different direction, and I like it. I did change up some characters. One of the things I can't stand, I'll talk about that later, but anyway, I wrote this book when I was 16, In the Shadows. It wasn't originally this title either. The original title of this book was Black Skies, Silver Moon. Black Sky, Silver Moon, which sounds pretty cool, but I was like, let's do something different. Let's rebrand it. Let's give it a new look, a new vibe, a new sound. In the Shadows of Silver and Black. I kind of missed the other time, but I do make references to the original title, Black Sky, Silver Moon. I do make references in the book. Another thing about the book, what I like is that I do have illustrations in there as well. So yeah, check it out if you want to check it out. Audiobook, no, it's available in paperback, hardcover, ebook. Yeah, In the Shadows of Silver and Black by Shauna Sagaji, which is me. Yeah.